everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Georgia. I hope you're well. In today's video, I really want to just focus on continuing some series that I am in the middle of. If you haven't seen it, I recently did a series tracker video, and in that video I realised just how many series I'm actually in the middle of, so it kind of scared me a little bit. So I really want to focus in this video in finishing or trying to finish some of these series off. So for this video I'm going to pick 3 books that I'm going to try and get read, and we're just going to take it from there. So I have picked book 1, but I do kind of want to mood read. So I've had a lot of books recently that I've had to read for specific videos, so my TBRs have been pretty structured and pretty set recently. Honestly, I just want a bit of free reign. So it's not free reign as in I can pick any book off my shelf up, but it does mean that I have that free reign to sort of have some choice in the series that I fancy reading. So I am going to mood read through this. I have picked book 1 already, and it is a book that was actually on my September TBR as well, so it worked out quite nicely. So book 1 that I want to read in this video is this one here. So this is Daughter of a Siren Queen. This is book 1 in the Daughter of a Pirate King trilogy. I read book 1 in August and I loved it. I read it for my scavenger hunt, so I'll leave that linked up here for you guys. I really enjoyed that one. It was such an easy, fun adventure. I've really been craving a pirate read recently. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just been with Metal Slinger coming out and things, if I've just been fancying that pirate vibe. Picked these up in New York and I've been really enjoying the series so far, so I'm really looking forward to getting into book 2. I haven't read the synopsis, but I have a pretty good idea of what this is going to be about. So in book 1 we're following our main character Alosa. Now Alosa is the daughter of the Pirate King, and she is basically sent on a mission by her dad to retrieve these parts of the map, and then once you've got the 3 parts of the map you basically have the map to this massive treasure trove, and it's where all the sirens take all the pirate treasure that they've sort of collected over the years. So it's the big thing that every pirate has been dreaming about. So she is basically on a mission to collect the pieces of the map. I think this book is going to be following a similar sort of thing. It's kind of hard to explain without ruining book 1 for you guys. It is a YA book. There's no spice, there's some tension, there's a bit of a romance that's kind of like a subplot through book 1. I think we're going to see a lot more of that in this one, which I'm really excited about. And it's not a very sort of hard to understand adventure either. It's not like an epic fantasy, it's just a really fun adventure, and it's written in a really easy to understand way. So I am absolutely loving this series and I cannot wait to get into this book. Book number 1, Daughter of a Siren Queen. Let's get straight into this. Okay, so I have a lot of updates for you guys on this book. I'm not gonna lie, I am on page 260, so I have read a lot of this book so far. This book is only 338 pages and I'm on page 260, so I have nearly finished this book now and I'm loving it so far. It's just so much fun. So like I said previously, the first book sort of follows Alosa trying to find the pieces of the map and being captured by a rival pirate crew to try and find this piece, whereas this book I would definitely say has a lot more adventure in it. We're again following Alosa. At the beginning of this book we have quite this big issue. She finds something and basically finds out that her father's been lying to her all along and using her and things. So this book follows Alosa going on this whole new adventure and she's basically on the run. In this book we have a lot more higher stakes. I think we have a lot more adventure. We're seeing a lot more of the sort of world that this book's set in, and we're also seeing a lot more of the romance side between her and Ryden, which again I'm really enjoying. This book has literally just leveled up everything from book 1 and I loved book 1, so this one is so much fun. We've had a lot more high stakes, we've had a lot more sort of action and fighting and pirate fighting and cannons and things like that, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it so much. It's so much fun. We've had some running with cannibals and all sorts. We're also watching Alosa sort of try and get to grips on her power as well, which again is a really interesting concept and I'm really loving that as well. All in all, this is just a step up from book 1, and I think I rated book 1 4.5, and it's just such a fun adventure. It's definitely a lot more action, a lot more fighting, a lot more pirate stuff I would say. And we're also seeing a lot more of Alosa's crew on this one. So obviously in book 1 she was on another pirate's ship, so we were meeting all of their team and all of their sort of crew members, whereas in this one we are on her boat, her ship, as she sort of escapes with her crew. So we're getting a lot more about her family and her friends and her crew that she's been the captain of for a long time. So we're meeting her people and getting more of her history and her background and her life, and I'm just loving that. I love her found family element, I love her crew. Everyone has such like an important role there, and it's a very heavily female based crew, which obviously isn't something that was very popular around there, so it's all the backlash that they get from being a female based crew and how they sort of overcome all of that, and I just love it. I just love it so much. It's so much fun. I've got like less than 80 pages to go, so I just want to sit and get this finished today because I'm really enjoying it, and I just want to give it my undivided attention and get to the end of this book and see sort of how they get out of the situation that they're in currently. That's my plan. I have been doing a little bit of this on audio to and from work and things as well, so I've been listening to it on Everend, and I really like the narrator that we have for this book and the sort of like accents that she's giving to each character. It's giving them a lot more depth for me, because when I read them everybody just sounds the same in my head. Like they all just sound like me. So when I've been listening to it on audio, we're getting that full depth of like different characters and different accents, and yeah, it just gives me a lot more than I can give just reading it on my own. So my plan for the rest of the day is to finish this. So I'm probably going to sit and do a bit of immersive reading again because I've been really enjoying doing that. I'm then going to my mum's for dinner, and then I'll probably come home and actually finish it then. I thought after basically 2 books that we were just about to get the first, like, not spicy scene because it's YA, but like the first sort of proper romance, and it's been ruined. Fuming. Absolutely fuming. I was just sat in my chair. I'd literally just 3 minutes prior finished the last page of this book, and I was sat looking at my bookshelves going, what do I fancy reading next? What should I pick up? When all of a sudden the Ring camera goes off and we get a wonderful little delivery. Now I'm 90% sure what this is, and if it is what I think it is, then we are absolutely reading this next, and this is my dilemma of what to read sorted. So before I open that, I do want to just tell you my final thoughts on this here book. I loved this so much. It was so much fun. The last 50 pages were literally back-to-back drama and fighting, and like the ending was just incredible. It was just the nice full circle of the book, and I loved it. I loved it. Obviously, I said earlier, she's been on the run from a specific somebody this whole time, and at the end of this they finally catch up with her, and there is the big final fight scene, and it is so well done. All in all, this book has just been such a fun time. I honestly recommend this series so much. Obviously this is only book 2, I do still have 1 more to go, but I have just enjoyed this so much. So I looked back on my Goodreads, I rated the first one 4 stars, I think I'm going to rate this 4.5. I don't know why I can't bring myself to rate these 5 stars, because I'm enjoying them so much, and I've honestly been talking about them non-stop to anyone asking me for sort of like easy reads. I've just been saying, read this. It's not a high, difficult to understand fantasy, it's just fun, it's YA, it's just really easy flowing, and I love them so much. So I'm probably going to say 4.5 at the moment. I have really enjoyed it. I love these so much. I highly recommend them, and I think I'm going to settle on a 4.5 star. Absolutely love this. Highly recommend. Please go and pick these up. They are so much fun. Now for this one, okay, I am so excited for this. Just let me be excited about my parcel. We're finally in. So, this is my copy of Riding the Lines by Emma Lucy. Now, I read book 1 in this series last month, I think, and absolutely devoured it. It was just a nice, easy, fun country romance, and now we finally have book 2. At the time of me filming this, this literally came out today. So this is my pre-order that's just arrived. So this is book 2 in the Willow Ridge series. So book 1 follows Aurora and Wyatt. Aurora is a girl from England who basically her aunt passes away and leaves her ranch in Aurora's name. Wyatt is the ranch sort of manager, so they have to sort of come to terms and work together to keep this ranch running in like a profitable way. Really love this one, and all through this book we get hints of these 2 characters here. So this follows Cherry and Duke. Now Cherry is Wyatt's younger sister and Duke is his best friend. This is brother's best friend, age gap, workplace sort of romance, I think. He owns a bar and she's one of the bartenders, but she's also an interior designer who was helping with some of the renovations on the ranch, things like that. So we have seen quite a bit of these 2 characters and a bit of their romance sort of brewing, so we are finally getting their story. So this is the book that I'm going to read next, and honestly I am So excited. So I'll just read you the back. So it just says, crossing off her bucket list was easy until she fell for him. Cherry Hensley is determined to make her last summer in Willow Ridge count, but with a bucket list full of wild ideas, Cherry is ready for anything except Duke Bennett. The town's hottest bartender and her brother's best friend is way too tempting to resist when he offers to be her partner in crime. Enlisting Duke's help was supposed to be harmless. She's known him all her life, but every moment together makes Cherry feel more alive than anything on her bucket list. Will they hold the line between lovers and friends? So I'm really excited for this. Book one was just such an easy to read, fun, flirty book. Had some really good spy scenes, had a lot of those sort of underlying, more meaningful topics within them. So I really love that sort of setup. Book two that we are going to jump into today is this one here. I am so excited. We've seen quite a lot of these two characters, so I'm really interested to see their sort of like story develop. Let's jump straight in. I'm only on page 21 of this book, but I already have a bit that I really want to read to you guys. Just to give you a bit of backstory, Cherry has epilepsy. Her life has been sort of ruled by that, so she missed out on a lot of the big things, like she didn't get to go to prom because she had a really bad seizure before then, and she just feels like she's not really done much that you're sort of supposed to have done before you go off to college, which is why they've made this bucket list. She's currently just having a chat with Duke at the bar about sort of life in general, and they apparently have these debates every night, and like they get to alternate who chooses the topic. And the topic for today is, I have my topic for our closing argument: life should be about doing as many big crazy things as possible, for or against. And Duke goes against. She's obviously then for the argument, so she says, I go first then. I think you need to do big meaningful things that push you outside your comfort zone so that you can feel more confident. Duke says, I know what you're saying and I do agree, but I think our perception of what is fun and meaningful has been warped. That the best things in life are those that look good to other people or on social media, when your life is more than a few photos or stories. It's thousands of individual days made up of little moments, and it's not appreciating those that make life dull and uninspiring. People are so eager to go after bigger and better things, but what if you have everything you need right now with you? And I just thought that that was such a lovely sort of section, and I just really wanted to share it with you guys. So that is sort of, obviously I'm only 20 pages in, I don't really have a lot to like update you with right now, but I just really liked that bit, and I just thought that was so cute and meaningful, and just a really nice way to think. I only see the highs of everybody's life through things like social media. Like obviously with you guys, I only show you my day's reading. I don't talk to you about like the struggles of day-to-day life. It's only ever really the highlights. And I just think it's such a nice way to sort of like remember that, and to show that like all these little moments in life are actually so important, rather than just like the big things that you see on social media that everybody shares. And I just think that's such a nice concept, and I just really want to share it with you guys. So I'm going to go back to reading and carry on, but I just thought that that bit was so lovely. And I might even chuck a little tab in there just because I think I will like to come back to that in the future. I'm going to get straight back into reading. I just wanted to read you guys that quick because I just thought it was so lovely. So, back to reading. Okay, I am here to give you a little update on this here book, and I am obsessed. I am literally obsessed. I am enjoying this book so much, it's unbelievable. Like at the minute it's genuinely sitting at a 5-star. So I'm currently on chapter 27 and I have decided to start tabbing. That's how much I'm enjoying it. But this book just has all the like micro tropes I am obsessed with, and it's just been the cutest little adventure. And honestly, when I say I'm obsessed, I mean I'm obsessed. Like, this book is incredible. In this book, we sort of follow these two characters who have known each other a very long time but have started to see each other very differently. So Cherry's always had a bit of an obsession with Duke. It's always been like the cute older brother's best friend. And then when she comes back from college a couple of years ago and starts working in his bar, he then starts to see her very differently to how he's always seen her, and no longer as sort of like his best friend's little sister, but more of just like her own person, and a very attractive, outgoing young person. So that's the sort of the development that we've had from them being sort of younger to now. Cherry has this bucket list that she really wants to work through before she finishes her degree and goes off into like the real world. So her and her friend Montana basically make this bucket list, and on this bucket list they have loads of little things that she really wants to do, and then also some fun things, if you like. So she has things like learning how to roller skate, get a tattoo, wild swim at night, go speed dating, firework kiss, and then she has like a list of do this in a car, do this in a pool, do this in a shower, do this in a hot tub, in a public place, in a restroom. So there's a lot of sexual stuff. Duke basically ends up agreeing to help her do the first half of the list. He has this very big mindset on making the most of like the little things in life. He's had quite a tough upbringing, lost his parents, lost his grandfather, literally only has his grandmother left of all his like biological family. We're following both characters sort of navigating these very different paths. She's really wanting to collect these very big moments because she's missed out on a lot of the big moments, whereas he is very big on making the most of the little moments. So we have this back and forth between the two characters. Duke basically agrees to help her tick off the first half of her bucket list, but in exchange for those big moments, she has to enjoy a little moment of his choosing. So just as an example, one of the things on her list was roller skating, so he goes roller skating with her, but then she has to enjoy a small moment, so he takes her on a drive in his truck and they go up to sort of like one of the viewing points where you can see all the town that they live in, and they just sit in the truck, look at the stars, eat pizza and enjoy that little moment together. And that's the sort of back and forth that we get through this book. I am scared because obviously I haven't quite got to the third act conflict yet, and I feel like as this sits at a 5-star at the moment, this third act conflict is making me more nervous than ever because I really don't want it to fuck up the book for me. This has to be perfect or I'm gonna be so disappointed. Like I say, I am on chapter 27, which is page 245, so I've got just over 100 pages to go, and I want to just sit down and get this finished. I'm loving it so much. Like, I have devoured this book. I'm enjoying it more than I expected to. So I rated book 1 a 4-star anyway, but this one is definitely better than the first one for me so far. We've just started getting into the more spicier scenes and they are incredible, and I am just all in all really enjoying this one. So I'm gonna get back to reading this one. I have no idea what we're gonna read next because I feel like this is setting very high standards for the next book that I read. Loving it so far. Let's see what the last 100 pages and third act conflict bring. Let's pray that it doesn't ruin my thoughts and feelings towards this book. Let's go. Okay, so I have finally finished Riding the Line, and oh my god, I love it. I actually love it. I'm actually obsessed. This is going to be all I talk about for the foreseeable future. This is 100% a 5-star read. I devoured this. I absolutely loved it. I've enjoyed it so much. I've done lots of tabbing, as you can see. I honestly love this. Like, every micro trope that's in like my top 5 is in this book, and a lot of the actual tropes that I just enjoy generally are in this book. And the third act conflict didn't annoy me, which is very uncommon. I am usually very easily annoyed by third act conflicts, but this one I actually understood. I just loved it. I loved it so much, and honestly, Emma Lucy, you need to get me book 3 like immediately. It was so fun. It was so easy. I really enjoyed the concept of like her chasing these big moments in return for a little moment with him, and it was just so nice. And obviously with it being Brother's best friend, I was expecting this very big issue with Wyatt, and don't get me wrong, obviously he wasn't best impressed, but I really like how that was resolved and how that was handled. But there were 2 sort of third act issues, I would say, because there's another one right at the end, which is kind of what I expected the initial third act conflict to be, but there was a bit of something before that with somebody else. So like, I really enjoyed it. It kind of kept me on my toes. I never really fully expected what was going to happen. I honestly don't have anything bad to say about this book. I just adore Cherry and Duke together. They're just perfect, and I love it so much. I highly recommend this series. As I've said previously, this is book 1, so Live Ranch Love is book 1 in this series. In comparison to this, like, oh, I just devoured it. So I rated this one 4 stars and now this one 5 stars. So this series is definitely up there with one of my favourite country romances. So I am very happy with this series so far, especially to say that this book here was actually her debut novel. So Emma Lucy is honestly gonna be a new author by author for me, which is obviously so exciting. So that's the second book in this video read. I honestly feel bad for whichever book I read next because it has very big shoes to fill. So I've pulled a couple of options for possible books to read next. I'm just going to quickly talk you through them. The first book I've kind of picked up is Out of the Woods by Hannah Burnham Young. My other option is The Wrong Mr. Right. So this is book 2 in the Queen's Cove series. And then just to throw an absolute curveball in there, my third option is Enchantress by Kaylee Smith. Honestly, I think I might go with this one. Let's jump into our third and final book of this video. Let's hope we can have another really good read. Both the other books that we've read in this I've actually really enjoyed, so please don't let me down. Please don't let me down. Let's go for 3 out of 3 above a 4-star read. Wishful thinking, but let's do it. Let's get into Out of the Woods by Hannah Burnham Young. Change of plans. So on Sunday I decided that I was going to read this book, and that was probably the last you guys sort of really saw of me. And then I woke up Monday morning and completely changed my mind because I wanted a book that I could audio because I was going back to work, and I wanted something that I could audio to and from work and things, and I can't get this on audio on anything. I gave up on that idea for now, and I've actually decided to pick up this book here. So this is the second book in the Crimson Moth Heartless Hunter duology depending on where you're from, it's the Crimson Moth in the UK. So I read Crimson Moth early this year and then just sort of never picked up book 2, but they actually have these on BookBeat, so I decided to pick up this one. So like I said, this is book 2 in the Crimson Moth trilogy. So Crimson Moth is a witch and a witch hunter fantasy romance. It is more on the fantasy side and there's sort of like a very minimal spice sort of read, and it's basically like an enemies to lovers, witch hunter, witch sort of situation. Our main female character, Rune, is the Crimson Moth, so she is basically the witch that's been saving all the other witches from capture. So it's actually illegal to be a witch and you can be sort of like hung or killed for being a witch and also for hiding a witch. Rune pretends to be this sort of like dumb socialite against witches, and she actually turned in her grandma who was a witch because it was basically a case of she'd been caught anyway, so if Rune sort of handed her in, it looked like she was one of them sort of thing. So she decides to try and date the leader of the book guard to try and like put him off her scent, but equally he has suspicions that Rune might be the Crimson Moth or at least know who she is, so they're kind of like pretending like each other in order to Gideon to sort of like capture the Crimson Moth, or for the Crimson Moth Rune to put Gideon off her scent. This book marks round 2 of their sort of cat and mouse chase. Now in the last 2 days I have sort of like flown through this. Like I said, I have been audioing it and I'm actually on 309. So when I say I've flown through it, I mean I've flown through it. That is literally 2 days of like audioing and reading this book because I am really enjoying it. Now I do think I am probably preferring this one. We have a bit more romance in this, whereas in the first one we have a lot of like fake romance where they're just sort of teasing each other and leading each other on, and then they sort of fall for each other at the end. So we've had enemies to lovers to enemies to lovers. So it's a bit of a to and fro, but I am really enjoying this one. Again, it's not a spicy book, but we do have some really sweet romance in this and them sort of having to work together again as enemies still. We are having that back and forth quite a lot. I'm enjoying the full circle of it and how we've gone back to being enemies and like developing those feelings again as they've had to work together. I'm enjoying the blood magic and the magic system in this. I do really like how this magic system works. I do think it's really interesting. And I do think all in all I am actually preferring this one to the first one so far. And like I said, this is a duology as well, so we will be getting the sort of final innings of this. We have about 150 pages left to go. I'm going to get back to this book. It is one that is kind of very difficult to talk about without giving you massive spoilers, so I'm not going to say much on it, but I am really enjoying it so far. We're having a lot more of an adventure on this one, which I'm enjoying a lot, and I will probably come back to you with my final thoughts on this here book, but I do think I'm enjoying it more than book 1. Let's get back to reading. Okay, so on my way home from work, I have literally just finished this book here. So this is Rebel Witch by Kristen Cicerelli. Now, I really enjoyed this book. I think it was a very fun, interesting, emotional, witchy, fun time. I really enjoyed it. I know I haven't given you much of an explanation for this book, but it's because it's just so hard to explain this book without ruining anything. Anything I tell you about it will basically ruin book 1 and book 2 for you, and I don't want to be that person. So all I will say is I did really enjoy this. I think the full circle of the relationships and things like that in this book were really lovely. I really liked how it all came together in the end. The final sort of battle in this book I think I did expect to be a lot bigger. I feel like it was a lot of preparation for quite a small battle at the end, and the battle didn't happen how I expected it to either, but I still really enjoyed the ending of this book. I think it was really sweet and really lovely, and I really enjoyed that, and the epilogue and things like that was all really sweet. So there was a few twists at the end that I weren't expecting either that I really liked, and how that all sort of like wrapped up, and just these things that you have no idea from the beginning but characters that you've seen the whole way through that just surprised me right at the end. I really enjoyed that. So I think my final rating for this book is going to be a 3.5. Now I know that seems a little bit low for me because my default rating for a book is 4 stars, but this vlog has made me realise that I need to lower that. So I want to make my default rating a 3 so that when I really enjoy a book I can rate it 4, and when I am obsessed with a book I can rate it 5. I hope that makes sense. So I do plan on being a little bit stricter with my ratings. At the time of reading Crimson Moth I rated it 3.75. Realistically that was probably a 3 if I was to rate it now, and then I'm going to rate this one a 3.5. That is everything for this video. Let's give you a little recap of the books that I have read. We started this video with this book here. So this is Daughter of the Siren Queen by Trisha Levenseller. Now this is book 2 in the Daughter of a Pirate King trilogy, and I rated this 4.5 stars. I love this series, and this also puts me one book closer to the end. It is a trilogy like I said, so we've only got one book left to go in this one. and I rated this one a 4.5 stars. Really enjoyed it. We then read Riding the Line, which is book 2 in the Willow Ridge series. This has become my new obsession. I love this book, I love these characters, and this also puts me completely up to date with the series. This book did only come out last week. Definitely go and pick this series up. I really enjoyed it, and I rated this 5 stars and tabbed, which tells you how much I like a book, 'cause it's not very often I properly tab a book. And then finally we read The Rebel Witch by Kristen Cicerelli. Now this marks this series as complete, so this is a duology, and I've now read both books, and I rated this one a 3.5. So I think all in all, a very successful little reading vlog. We've completed a series, we're up to date with the series, and we're one book off finishing another. So I think that's really good going. I'm really chuffed with that, and also some good books as well. Like, I've actually enjoyed all 3 of these, some a little bit more than others, but I have really enjoyed this sort of reading week. That is everything for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And as always, my social media, my Amazon wishlist, my Goodreads and my business email are all in the description bar below. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you're well. Take care. Bye.